we've talked so much about the importance of camp with these younger players, but as a veteran player, what do the younger players need to show in order to earn a spot or continue at this camp?
Well, I think first is just get out there and work. I think that's what all the coaching staff and all the brass up there is looking, is that guys had a good offseason and worked out and competed and show up in good shape. And then I guess the next part would be attention to detail. So we have a little bit of a different system, and for some of the younger guys, it's maybe a little bit of a little bit of a learning curve. So get to meetings early, ask questions, and like I said, have that attention to detail, so that when you get in practice and we're playing those little scrimmages, you know where to be, and I'll just help them out. But I think that's for everybody. I know I just say that for the young guys, but that's for the older guys too, because I've done this for a long time, and when you're kind of dialed in and prepared, and it's an exciting time, I think you just end up playing better and showing off well. So that's at least what I try to do, and I think it's done a decent job for me.
Some people might say there's holes in the defense after a couple of the free agents did not come back here in New Jersey, but it's also an opportunity. So what are you and the other defensemen looking forward to creating a new identity for this year's season?
Who's saying that?
It's just a...
it's okay. Yeah, I don't see holes. Obviously, we've lost some areas that were very good for us last year, but that just opens up doors for other people, as you said. So I think as a young group, there's those opportunities to slide in and take advantage of them. And I think last year you saw a lot of those younger guys step in and really excel. Obviously, you can name the easy ones like Jackie, who really stepped up and slid in, and but guys like Bahl, and then there's areas where there's going to be more ice time, and what you want to do at this time of the year is really prove and show yourself, so that you by the first game you're ready to go, and you can play more minutes and get put in positions to succeed.
Brendan, to that point, with Damon gone, with Ryan gone, big minutes there that were played last year by those guys. Do you sense maybe there might be a little of a transitional period for the D before everyone kind of comes together, particularly if there's a young guy coming in and playing along the blue line?
Transition as in
there's going to be some time to mature, grow that chemistry that you might need as a 6D guys back there.
Yeah, well, I don't even think it's like the NHL. I don't even think it's 6D anymore. I think it's closer to like 7, maybe 8. And just like last year, we had a lot of, it felt like new faces. Obviously, myself, Marino, Bahl are coming up. Like, you have to gel no matter how you want to be for any D core, and that camaraderie. We had a new coach in Gilly last year, so a lot of that is what we'll be doing this year. So I agree, but I feel like that's like every year. Even if there isn't a lot of turnover, there's always a couple positions, especially defensively. There's like 1 or 2 positions that there's turnover. The good thing is that kind of our core 4 basically are still around. I mean, obviously you got Dougie, Siegs, Johnny obviously came in and played fantastic for us. And so like from that point, I think you kind of have your bearings, and then you just kind of build out and kind of find out where you stand. And obviously the coaches will make sure to put us in our positions. But even for a guy like me, like I want to be an everydayer. I want to play top 6 minutes. I know that might not be how everything unfolds, but like I say, why I say there's 7 is because there's injuries, and there's always going to be injuries. So I think we had them a lot last year, where we had Baller and Nikita. We had a lot of guys that filled in, and guys get more minutes. I found myself playing with Johnny a lot. I found myself playing with a lot of people, even just game script, where you have sometimes it was like Baller with Dougie or myself with Dougie. You know, that stuff happens. So everybody's got to be on the same page, as I agree. But I would say it's more like a 7 or an 8 D-core, and we have to kind of dial that in. And right now it's just trying to get our legs going and get into game shape, and then all that other stuff kind of falls in.
Brendan, one of the new guys on the blue line, or one of the only new guys, is Colin Miller. How's that relationship been, and what are you seeing on the ice there?
Yeah, he's a vet, and I feel like he gets the game, he understands it. It's a new system, so that's going to take a little bit of time for him, but he skates well, he shoots the puck, he's got a lot of skill, and he'll be a really good addition for us. I think the more he learns how we play, it's just going to help him out, and the more we get into that position. But we're day 2, right? So like right now, like I said, I think we're just coming in, just trying to work hard and get our legs and go from there. But yeah, I have no worries whatsoever about him. He's been around for a long time. He's a great player.
You know, talking about 7 or 8 different defensemen playing, like obviously you love to find your one deep partner that you can build that relationship with, but knowing that you're going to play with different guys, how much are you watching the other defensemen when they're playing and you're, say, on the bench or not on the shifts, that you can learn their tendencies too? For me, I'm always watching. I guess I'm always trying to give tips to everybody. That's just kind of how I am, I guess. But yeah, so I'm always kind of, I guess, finding areas for people or things that I can help in their games. And so like I kind of could tell everybody's tendencies. I'm watching Miller a lot just because he is new to me, but I also want to see what his tendencies are. And if I play with him because he's a righty, that could happen very easily. And what he likes to do, what his tendency, where he wants me to be, or vice versa. So those are things that by playing against them, playing with them, you kind of start to learn. And I think it just helps you. It's kind of like watching game film, right? But you're right there with him. And he's in my group. He's in the A, so it's easier to watch him because we're every shift or every rep, he's before me or after, right? So that's really good. Obviously, Baller and playing with Foote right now, I think it's been good. Like I said, it's day 2, so it's just really, it's early for all that stuff, but right now we just want to have a high competition level and go from there.
Smitty, when does a group go from being we're young and learning to we're here now, and you can't sort of rely on that we're young kind of thing? And where is this group right now on that spectrum?
Yeah, well, that happened last year. I think what we did last year, everybody has an expectation, and that's great. Now we got to answer that bell and keep it. I feel like last year, my biggest thing when I came in, and I talked to you guys even before I came, was that we didn't want to be that team where they circled that's a win, right? That was not, and we did that, and for sure. And I would say right around December, teams were like, they're for real. So that's great. So now this year, everybody knows that when we come in or they come to us, we're going to get their best games. We're not going to get their second goalies. We're going to get their best effort. So we got to be prepared for that. And now we still are young. We understand that, but we've all taken that step. So now we got to continue to get better and make pushes. And I think Fitzy did a good job of adding some guys for our team. Obviously, Toffoli's a huge pickup for our club. Getting Brader and Timo re-signed, these things are huge. All these things are very instrumental for our club, and everybody's a year older. So people can still use that. We're not going to because we're past that. But for us, we want to make sure that we get off to a good start like we did, and that's how you really secure yourself a position in the playoffs.
Brendan, do you and your brother talk about how we landed in Pittsburgh? You see each other a little more, what that competition might be like?
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, that was interesting. Obviously, it was 2 weeks after they won the Cup, so that was pretty quick. And we chatted a lot in the summer. I mean, he's such a good professional. I think they loved Vegas, so there was a little bit of a down period, probably about a couple days for Riley. But I mean, he was excited to get over there and get out there and play. And now that we're going to be in the same division, I know my parents are more happy because the travel will be a lot easier. And I know my wife and his wife are thinking about little trips to either the city or out there. So that'll be great. When it comes to the game, we just compete like we always have. He's just another guy out on the ice that I don't want to get beat by, but probably more him. But yeah, so that we talked about it a lot. But I'm excited to see how he does and how he fits in with that club because I think he would help that team out a lot.
Brendan, year 12 for you. As a veteran, what kind of did you work on this offseason? And do you start to think about kind of the future, what kind of that holds for you?
I mean, I do think about it. I try not to. I try to be really, as you know about me, I'm a very in the moment kind of person, and I think it's helped me to where it's got me at this moment. For the off season, I feel like Riley and I do the same stuff every year. It's kind of like if it ain't broke, why fix it? But I think as you mature and get older, you tend to instead of getting like personal record workouts, you try to manage the body a little bit more. There's probably a little bit more cardio because the game is getting faster, and I want to make sure that my foot speed is still great, and I'm coming in really good condition. So that's kind of my area, but these are things I've learned over that time, and I feel like my workouts have gone a little bit longer, but just more geared to how I feel, and I think it's done a good job for myself and my brother, because I think we kind of keep our similar routines, but yeah, that's kind of really what I can give you on that. But it's fun to be back here, because then you're right back in the mix with everybody, and right back to work.
We know we talked with you at the end of the year and after your contract and all of that, but how did you feel this off-season win, and what did you really focus on?
I think just consistently working on, defensive things, 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, going back, just working on those down low, taking on a rush, capping up, things like that. And then just working on consistency in those types of drills. So, yeah.
2 big free agents didn't return in the D-Corps this year. It's a great opportunity for those of you that are here. What do you want to prove in this, and what do you want the D-Corps to kind of grow into as a group?
I think the thing we got to prove is, we got the depth still. So it's definitely a thing going into this training camp that even I want to prove, right? So, yeah.
Kevin, what was the first big purchase after your contract ran?
Nothing. Save your money. Yeah.
How much different does this camp feel for you coming in? I know you're still fighting for your placement, but knowing that you established yourself here last year.
I think, in my head, I definitely have that feeling of, I don't know what you even want to call it, happiness, but I don't want to get complacent with that. I mean, that's one of the things, just coming to this camp, don't want to get complacent, don't want to think exactly like what you were saying, right? I think if I think that way, I won't be able to push myself and just keep on getting better every single day, and that's what I've been trying to do, just get better every single day.
Just getting with Colin Miller the first couple of days, what has that pairing been like for you?
He's good. He's really mobile, smart guy, a bit older too, so he's like just telling me some little things to focus on, stuff like that.
Do you feel like not being complacent is a theme that a lot of players are having here, not just the younger guys, the veterans, and everyone throughout the lineup?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's something as a group just coming in, I notice is guys aren't complacent. If you're complacent, you see guys weren't really having a great summer. I think a lot of guys had an amazing summer, and guys are just continuously getting better, especially some of the younger guys, just watching them, how much faster they've gotten, how much better their skill and hands have gotten.
Kevin, have you noticed that if the coaching staff has maybe tweaked a few things here and there defensively to make it easier on the younger players, or what are you seeing there early on here in camp?
Yeah, I'm sure they tweaked a couple of things, but it's similar to what we were doing before.
And when you say similar, what is that? Pushing the pace? When you're tweaking stuff, is it more of a defensive posture to help the goalies? What is that like?
Can't give away the secrets, man. Similar.
How about layman's term? Is it? I guess you want to. When you say you want to maintain what you did last year, is it pushing the pace and being offensive? And
yeah, of course. I mean, same thing as last year. I thought we, like you just said, pushing the pace. I thought big thing we did last year was tight gaps and then quick transitions. So, those types of things, I noticed first day of camp that they want to work on that, and they want guys to focus on that.
Last year at camp, we heard you all say, we know who we are, we know we can be competitive, and the league didn't catch up to that. Now they have. They know how strong of a season it was last year. What's the atmosphere like knowing that there is a target on your back as a group this year?
I think the atmosphere in the room is, you surprise teams by showing up like we did, and then this year it's the surprising teams. They're going to know that we're going to have, that ability to push the pace and carry games. So now they're going to be more prepared coming in. So now we got to push it in, even an extra step than we had last year.
Nolan, able to get the first scrimmage of camp underway on day 2. What was the energy and the atmosphere out there?
Yeah, it was just first off good to be back, and good to be back in the locker room with the guys and get things rolling. So it was fun. It was high pace and physical, and it was good.
How competitive was it, even though it's still everyone getting back into it from a summer break?
Yeah, it's definitely competitive. Everyone wants to go out there and show their piece and what they can do and show and try and make the team, that sort of thing. So, yeah, it was high pace.
Last year at the end of the year, Tom Fitzgerald talked a lot about you and what he felt you did successful at Utica. What did you feel went so well for you in the AHL last year?
Yeah, I think just playing a 200-foot game and, playing a little bit of penalty kill and both special teams and just getting a lot of ice time in different areas. And I think my development, my ice time, and how I played just grew as a whole. So, it was a very productive year for me.
And then what did you work on this offseason?
Yeah, just continue to get stronger and gain some weight and get faster, obviously, and just continue to work on my agility and in tight around the net and that sort of stuff.
And I know there's a couple of you guys who are really trying to push for a main roster spot right now. What do you want to prove? What do you want to show to these scouts and coaches and management?
Yeah, I think just how badly I want to be on this team, this winning team, and how this team's grown from the last few years. And being here the last few years, you see how it's developing, and I want to be a part of that and help out as much as I can. Definitely want to make this team.
And when you look at some of the players you were playing with out there, who did you find the most chemistry with in that scrimmage?
Yeah, I got to play with basically everyone almost. So obviously new guys, you're trying to find that chemistry and get that going. But Chris Tierney, he's a very solid player, and I like playing with him.
And your brother's here. This is a similar situation. You guys have played together before. What's it like to see him here with the Devils now?
Yeah, it's cool. Obviously, we played in junior together, and we had one training camp in Tampa Bay together. So, yeah, it's pretty special to have him back and in the same locker room together, and it's cool being at the rink every day with him.
What's your scouting report on your brother?
Obviously, I want to speak highly of him. I think he's had a good showing so far. I've watched a couple drills of his practices, and he's looking good. He's big, strong, and I think he can really play that defensive role and that shutdown role and that PK role. And I think he brings toughness, and that's something I think we all need, right? He brings that, so it's good.
There's quite a few players here from Utica last year. Do you guys rely on each other more at this camp when it is a high-pressure situation? You're all fighting for spots, but you also want to support your teammates.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, there's always that competitive drive, so if you're going against them, you're obviously going to battle and try and win. So, but it's good to have a lot of those guys here, guys you're familiar with and know well from the past couple of years, so it's good to have them.
I know at the Prospects Challenge you talked about wanting to use that tournament as kind of a runway coming into this camp. How do you feel now that you've gone through the first couple of days? How do you feel it's helped?
Yeah, I think it was good. I think you come off the summer and you're just eager to get going, and I think the Prospect Tournament was a great little jump into the season right away, and was able to get some touches there and just kind of gain momentum and coming into here. I thought it was a good practice day yesterday, and then it's nice to jump right into the games today too. It seems like it's happening fast, so it's all good.
And I know this is a silly question, but how much do the scrimmages really help instead of just having a bunch of practices to start this train camp?
Yeah, I think you do so much practice during this summer if it's like just working on individual skill and stuff like that. You do play some summer league stuff or summer league games, but this is real hockey out here. There's hitting, and guys are working as hard as they can. So I think that's the benefit to jumping right into games at camp, and it's great for everyone.
And you were able to really play with a couple different sets of players out there. Who did you find a lot of chemistry with?
Yeah, I think it was good. I think we kind of mixed it around because we had an odd number of forwards or whatever, but it's good. I think I played with Footer last year in Utica and stuff, so have a bit of chemistry with him. And then Tierney's a good player. He's played it for a while, so I think we had some fun today, and it was good, and just keep building on that.
Obviously, you're one of the players who's really fighting for a roster spot here. Same with Foote. What do you both want to prove, or what do you individually want to prove to this coaching staff?
Yeah, I think you just want to show that you have another level and that you can take that next step in your career. And I think that's what I try to show in the scrimmages, and then also just moving forward here in camp that just keep getting better every day, and hard work pays off. So just want to keep pushing.
I know you mentioned at the Prospects Challenge wanting to gain trust with the coaches. Could you just describe that a little bit more, what trust you want to build?
Yeah, I think we've talked about a lot of the little things. If it's stuff in the D-zone positioning or just angling your body in a certain way, I think at the next level it gets even faster and quicker. So just doing all those little things, 200-foot player type stuff, and then also still being able to stick to my game. I'm an offensive player, and I still want to produce and still want to play in the offensive zone. So still trying to play to my strengths, but then kind of doing everything else too. So it's good.
It's a different energy this year. Last year, we heard from all the players, the league should know who we are. They should know who our AHL team is, and both teams did very well. Now that the NHL and the AHL know that these are two really solid teams, what's the difference of the atmosphere around this group?
Yeah, I think everyone talks about it this camp. There's no surprises this year. I think everyone knows what's in store for this team this upcoming year, and it's going to be a competitive year, and it's a competitive camp. I think everyone wants to make the team, and everyone's working as hard as they can to make sure that the team gets off on the right foot this summer or for this year. So it's that common goal, and I think the end result is Stanley Cup. So that's what everyone's working towards.
there anything specific the organization said to you that they wanted to see from you while you're here at training camp?
Yeah, I think it's just the little things like I talked about, just showing that you can, play at that next level and play at that next pace. I think everything's a little faster, everything's a little cleaner, polished in the NHL. So just trying to do those things and then showing that you can be on the ice and be a productive player. I think not just trying to be here, but actually be a player and contribute and stuff like that. So just all that kind of stuff and just continuing to build each day is going to be important for me.
You were able to play in the Prospects Challenge. How do you feel like having that half a week before coming to this campus really helps you with a quick start?
Yeah, I think I feel better. It's always good to play some games before main camp, and now I feel better on the ice, and it's important.
In that scrimmage, you were trusted to go out there to start with Hischier and Meyer. What does that say about how much trust they have with you?
Yeah, it's fun to play with these guys. They are really skilled guys and so good players, and it's good to play with them.
What else do you want to show at this camp to the coaches and the management?
I want to show I'm ready to play NHL, and that's my goal for a couple more days.
And the scrimmage, I mean, right from the start, it was very high intensity. How would you describe the level of compete and physicality out there?
I think it's something between Prospect Challenge and NHL games, and I think I looked pretty good. I felt good on the ice, and but still I can improve some stuff.
What are some of the things you want to still improve?
I think some gaps and this stuff in the zone.
Does the speed of the game feel different this year? Does it feel slower for you than it did last year?
It's not slower, but I think I'm faster.
Are you also do you feel like you have a better handle on picking your spots of when to be aggressive going forward and when to not be?
Yeah, I think this is my biggest step because last year I had really bad gaps and this stuff, but now I feel better on the ice and I can do it better.
So when you say you feel faster, it is not just your speed, but also your decision making?
Yeah, sure. Now I'm using contact in my eyes. I see better, and I think no just I'm faster, but I'm doing quicker some decisions, and it's important in NHL.
Lindy, first scrimmage as a camp. What did you think of the effort so far?
I thought the effort was good. The first half of the game was a pretty tight defensive game, not a lot of opportunities, and I thought second half guys started to make some good offensive plays, and overall it was a first good day scrimmaging.
For some of those players like Clarke or Foote or Nemec who are trying to get a spot on this main roster, what do you want to see out of them?
Well, play to their strengths, really. Each guy brings something differently. And I think when you're watching the scrimmages, you watch those types of players more than you watch a guy that's been here for a while or been here for a few years. You know that there's some guys that are going to be fighting for opportunities, and all the players you mentioned are in that category.
Why is it important for you to be able to watch from above and have your assistants kind of run a scrimmage like that? What are you looking for from that vantage?
Well, really get to see a bigger picture of the game where if I stand on the bench, I don't really get to see what's down in the far right corner, what's really happening, and the bigger picture is a lot easier when you're above the game and you get to see the whole rink, and you can see the forecheck part a lot better. You can see the offensive zone stuff a lot better. So there's an advantage to sitting up there and watching a game.
You're deploying Nemec, with guys like Marino, Nico. Are you starting to see the makings of an NHL player out of Simone?
Well, I think we all believe he's going to be an NHL player. You look at his size, you look at some of the composure he has with the puck. I think it's his overall game that's starting to improve. Going from last camp to this camp, his defending is improving. He's got a lot of confidence when he gets the puck, and I think that he understands the NHL game a lot better now.
I don't think it was asked yesterday. How's Nate doing? Obviously, he went out there today, but is he recovery-wise doing okay?
Yeah, obviously to be in the scrimmage,
he's full go. So I thought his scrimmage was good. He had one really good opportunity to score. But I think more than that, we know what type of game he brings. We know what he brings to the team, and it's good to see him healthy again.
You were asked a lot about Alex Holtz yesterday. What did you think about how he played in the scrimmage today and how he fit in when he was out there with Timo and Nico too?
I thought he had a good day. I thought he had opportunities probably to create a little bit more offense. Puck got away from him on a couple of situations, but I thought he skated well. His details when coming back into his own end, I thought were good. Even more than that, I thought yesterday's practice, where we watched him, almost in every drill, I thought he skated well there. So a lot of good in what he's done so far and where he's got himself to.
Are the little details in his game becoming more consistent?
Well, we're going to base it off of a practice in the game, but I think that, when we're talking about pace, and I think that's one thing I've talked a lot about, pace of his game. I think the pace has improved. His skating just looks like a stronger, faster player.
More comfortable out there in what he wants to do. It seems like sometimes there was some decisions in the neutral zone that were kind of questionable. For the most part, even when he turned the puck over, he was tracking pucks down. He was going back after it. Those type of things.
Yeah, I don't really think you're sitting up there looking at mistakes the player's making. You're kind of looking at, what you think he can add and the plays he makes inside the game. And when I mentioned a couple of pucks got away from him, I'm looking at offensive stuff that could he have converted, and they were in on some real good plays. They just didn't finish them. That's the part I liked about his game.